Bolger.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Bolger. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm all right. Getting ready to do a little workout.
Yeah, it's been a good week. You know, getting back into the swing of things.
Just doing my routine. You know how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna die if I keep lifting weights like this. So this week we're going to do a special on all things like fitness and how to stay active from home, like on my bike. What do you got over there, Mrs. Folger?
I got my treadmill.
She got her treadmill.
Although the weather's getting nice, so really
The weather is absolutely gorgeous today.
we can walk outside.
Yeah.
No problemo.
So we're going to be, to stay active, we're going to be doing a nice little workout throughout this entire video, which is hopefully going to get a good sweat, good lather.
Yeah.
Which is kind of disgusting when you say it like that.
Lather. I didn't say it.
I know. So this week our special guest is going to be Mr. Slifstein, our physical education teacher, and he's going to talk and give us all different types of hints on how to stay active and fit, and something I know I definitely need to take part in. What about you?
You and me both.
Yeah, I actually went running for like the first time yesterday. I couldn't even get out of bed today. Like I literally couldn't eat. Like we do this studio down here in the basement. I couldn't even get down the stairs. It was bad.
Yeah. Well, hopefully all of you guys are staying active and finding a way to fit some physical activity into your schedule. It definitely puts you in a better mood.
This is how I bike.
So a few announcements. Upcoming, the art show. Mrs. DeMayo Bridgewood is working very hard on an art show.
I'm so excited for that.
It is going to be released probably next week, you guys. So, yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah, virtual art show. I got to see a little preview, and it looks fantabulous.
That's good.
What about you? You have any?
Yeah, just that today on one of my lessons, one of the students asked me if it was too late to order a yearbook. And so we reached out to Mrs. Fabian, and she said that they have tons of extras. And so if anyone out there has not yet ordered a yearbook and they feel like they're regretting that, you can email Mrs. Fabian at cfabian@cmschools. I'm out of breath. At cfabian@cmschools.org and let her know.
Try those.
And let her know that you need a yearbook, and she'll do what she can to try to get you guys a yearbook. Are you really giving me weights?
Well, you're out of
This
breath.
is brutal. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So for those people who need a yearbook, there, take your weights back. Definitely a thing. Anything else?
I really think that's it. We, not much going on. Everybody's doing great in their virtual classrooms. We've seen great work.
Make it burn!
I'd say we're at like the halfway mark, right? Of the.
Yeah, no, not yet, but soon.
Like another 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
at the halfway mark, so keep up the good work. For those of you that are lacking a little bit of motivation,
Yeah.
get those assignments in so they don't pile up on you. Remember last week you can watch our video of some steps to keep you on track. And
yeah, I do want to say that we are the 8th grade team, the 8th grade teachers. We're going to try to do something a little bit special, like make some activities about Washington, D.C. field trip, just because this upcoming week would have been the week. And so I'm super sad about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to do like a little something. We'll do something special. So look forward to that on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week.
Yep. So.
Without further ado, all right, let me catch my breath. Oh, it hurts. All right.
All right. Let's call
Our
Mr.
special guest,
Slifstein.
Mr. Slifstein. All right, so hi, Mr. Slifstein.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Volger. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. How are you? How's everything going?
Trying to stay fit, you know?
Yeah, trying to stay fit.
Everything is going good. I love your gym setup there. It is. Are you guys in the basement?
We are in the basement.
Yeah.
Took a lot of money to put this together.
That's great, though. That's great. And you know, I have seen a couple of weeks ago, the students were sending in videos of some of the workouts they were doing and still shots, and just to give me a little feel. And some of the gyms that some of the kids have in their houses are also pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah? Have you gotten some, like,
Yeah.
legit good workout?
Oh yeah, legit with mirrors and things, and
I got to get
you know,
mirrors.
You have one mirror. This is actually not our real gym. No, we have a green screen back here, so we're lying a little bit.
She's
But
not
it,
Oh,
but it helps us, get motivated when we're looking at ourselves on camera.
Which brings me to, I think the worst thing for me working out would be mirrors. The last thing I want to look at when I'm sweating and breathing like a hog is myself sweating and breathing like a hog.
I know when I'm out on the road running and I'm running, I'm feeling euphoric. I get the runner's high. I feel really good. And then I run by a store with a window and I look at it and I say, I don't look as good as I feel.
Yeah, like it.
Well, we've had some students who have taken up running since this happened. Do you have any advice to any of them that are just starting out, that they want to get into something like jogging every day?
Yeah, I could say
What?
I went running real quick and yesterday for like the first time, and I am horrifically sore right now. Like I couldn't even get out of bed.
All right, so for a student who maybe has a runner in the family, they want to run alongside their family member, what should they do?
It's a great point, and I could use my own family as an example. So we're 5 of us, my wife and I, and 3 daughters that are adult age, 19 to 24. But the pandemic has brought everyone home, and we're all working long distance learning, or going to school distance learning, the 19-year-old. And so everyone has really kind of gotten into a new workout plan. My wife enjoys walking, so she's doing a 3 to 4 mile walk every day that she does in the afternoon, late afternoon, so I can go with her. But the daughters are into the running, so they're all at different levels. Some of them, it's jog a little bit, walk a little bit.
Okay.
A couple of the other ones enjoy the straight jog. Maybe it's a 2 mile day or a 3 mile day. I've been running now for about a year, so I'm doing about 30 miles a week. When I'm not with them, I'll go off and do anywhere from 6 to 10 miles on my own in a day, because that's where I was before the pandemic started. I would wake up at 4:45 in the morning. I had a glow vest to run in the dark, and I would run.
Okay, so safety is important for new runners then. They want to make sure they're being safe. Now, if you're running on a street with traffic, do you run against the traffic? Do you run on the side, go with the flow? What is your recommendation?
So I always run against the traffic. I try to plan my routes to be on sidewalks for most of the time. In Santa Moriches, there are a lot of sidewalks on busy streets like Railroad, Wading River Road, which is great. But some of the streets south of Montauk Highway, there's very little traffic. So if they're running in daylight opposite the traffic and they wear bright colors, I bought a vest, an actual, it looks like a construction worker's vest. Right. It zips up, it's very light. I could put my phone in. Right. And I wear it in broad daylight just so people can see me.
Yeah.
So speaking of phones, if they're running with their phone or to music, should they have the volume up? Should they have one earbud out? What's your recommendation?
I always keep my volume just loud enough so I can enjoy the music, but I can literally hear and feel the road behind me. I can sense, and the opposite, I'm running, I can see what's coming at me, but I can even hear a big truck or something coming in behind me in the opposite lane.
Yeah.
So it gives me a sense of, what's around me, And of course, for middle school students, I still recommend to them in my posts and when I talk to them, on the Google Classroom, to run with a family member or to have a family member bike or to stay near their house. A lot of them have been chatting with me that they go around the block where it's familiar, where it's close. They know all their neighbors. And, for most 11, 12, and 13-year-olds, running 2 or 3 miles in a day is going to be a lot for them. And that's a tremendous goal if they can do that.
Okay.
I got news for you. Running 2 miles a day would be a lot for me. And I'm 40 years old, so just putting it out
Yeah,
there.
but it's good for kids to know. So like have your
But-
parents, your family member know the route you're running so that if you get hurt and you're not back when you should be, they know where to go. Don't go somewhere
They know
else.
where to go to find you. I have told them that they shouldn't really be going across town.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and listen, some of them do because they've been given permission.
Right.
They're capable of it. They've proven to their parents that they can do it. So it's by family.
Right.
But if you're starting out running for the first time, and for kids, the best exercise for all of us, you know, the basic biking, swimming, running
Right.
is just the best cardio
Yeah.
that you can do. You know,
Should they stretch after, before, both?
I think stretching after is better. It's easier.
Yeah.
And
Body's
most
warmed up,
kids,
right?
most kids don't like to stretch.
Right.
And if their muscles are cold, it hurts, and they don't like it.
Yeah.
So definitely, once they break a sweat and they're loose, if they do it, it'll be easier for them to do it.
One trick.
What about cramps? So when my son runs, he's like, I have cramps. I don't know what to do.
I tell him to run through it.
Yes.
What do you do?
Yeah.
What's the right answer?
Yes. So breathing is the best way to deal with cramps. Now, a lot of times cramps are going to come when you're getting into shape. It's part of the getting into shape process. Soreness, cramping is all part of breaking through barriers. One of the things I tell runners in the beginning is watch what you're eating and drinking up to an hour or two before you run. For new runners, the best thing is probably to run when you wake up because you're still on your fast.
Right.
And as you gain experience and as you start to get stronger, you'll be able to consume maybe a power bar or like a mini bottle of water and go right out and run because your breathing and your cardio is as endurance has reached a point where you can handle some little discomforts while you run. You should keep your hands low and swinging in like a walking motion. We tend when we run to bring our hands up because
this is how I run.
Well, my son runs. We call him a velociraptor.
Yeah. So if you drop your arms, you'll get rid of the upper body cramping quicker.
Okay.
Like the shoulders.
I always run like this. That's good advice.
Yeah. So it feels a little funny having your hands go down to below your waist while you're in a run, but it is more natural for your body.
Awesome.
What about like people, because I have a bad back, so I've never been a good runner. What about like what activities could students do that don't like to run?
Yes.
And might not have a gym or something.
This is a big part of what we've been talking about in the PE Google Classroom for the last 2 months. And I've been getting feedback from, I've been encouraging students to do yard work around the house, to if you see mom and dad outside raking leaves, gardening, you would be amazed at how many calories you're burning, how much standing time you're doing. You know, we started off in the middle of March with, if you're doing something other than sitting down and facing a screen, you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
You could be sweeping the kitchen floor, unloading the dishwasher, carrying a laundry basket. We're taking the garbage out. A lot of times as parents, we tend to take these jobs inadvertently away from children because we do them faster and more efficiently.
Right.
But now
questions involved.
now that the kids are home 24/7, if the parents can allow them to do some of these things, even if they don't put the dishes away, as neatly as anything that they can get involved with around the house.
That's like standing and moving,
Yeah, because some of our kids want to play video games. I think some of the kids that I see in the Google Classroom looks like they're sleeping in their Xbox chair.
Yeah.
They probably haven't left that Xbox chair since school.
They haven't left that Xbox chair.
It's good for human relations to help out too. It helps when we're all in each other's space, if we're being helpful to one another, it certainly makes it more manageable and
I've had
more
kids share
pleasant.
videos of the family baking together and then cleaning the kitchen
Well,
together.
I also think like one thing I have enjoyed about being quarantined and working out is it's like alone time in the sense that like
Yes.
I get to just be by myself.
Yes.
You know, so if I go for a walk or I go for a run or something like that, like I'm by myself, I get to like just feel like I'm having me time, because that's a little bit difficult to do, especially if you have like siblings.
It's very difficult to do. And not only is it me time, but on the days where I get to run by myself, it's my music time.
Yeah.
So I choose my playlist and I go and I can see some life and I can wave to some people. I've seen a bunch of the students as I go, when I go down their streets or something. It's very uplifting. You know, I get to see some life, which I think they're getting when they go on family bike rides or bike rides themselves or walks.
Yeah.
A lot of kids have been sharing that they also have that time of day where they drop everything that they're doing and they go on a family walk, which, you know, anything that they can do that is not television and not in front of a computer screen, which they're going to be in front of a computer screen now all day long because it's distance learning.
Yeah.
So it's really, but it's amazing. And they also have the ability to run their own business. They are setting their day. They can make their time. I've been talking to the students about not going to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. Some of them were submitting assignments to me at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, asking me questions, which, you know, I mean, sometimes I would see the question and say, you know, I'm not setting a good precedent if I respond right now.
Right,
2, 3 in the morning.
I know,
So,
we stopped doing it in the beginning, we were doing it too.
We
were
well,
like,
because
no.
like naturally we're waking up later, we're going to bed later, and it got to a point that it just kept creeping to the point where we were going to bed at like 1 a.m. And we actually had to have a family meeting and say like, after 7, 8 o'clock at night, no more electronics. We're all like relaxing, trying to get to bed by like 11. You know?
Yeah, we're also trying to work back into a more normal routine, because I find that you know, if I don't start working until 10:30 in the morning, like while it's daylight, I want to do some other things. You know, so I don't like this feeling of always falling behind the emails and the Zoom calls, and you know, I want to. So we've been getting up earlier the last couple of weeks to try to get into a better routine.
Yeah, one thing a lot of my friends have been doing on Facebook is the push-up challenges.
Yeah,
Very
there's a lot of
nice.
physical challenges.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like 100 push-ups a day, and you're like 20. Well, yeah, you could like film yourself and then you like send it to a friend and then they have to do it.
Yes,
You
yes.
know?
Fun.
And another good one is a simple pyramid, just going 1 to 10 for a middle schooler. So you start off, you do 1 push-up, you take a break, then you do 2, then you do 3. You try to go all the ways up to 10, and then you see if you can. It's like going around the world and back. So if they could do up to 10 and then back to 1, in the beginning they might only get to 6 or 5 or 4. And then as time goes on, they can get to 10. And then as time goes on, they could work their way back. And without realizing it, it's, you know, X amount of push-ups.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool. So the question we always ask all of our guests who we interview is, for those students that aren't connecting or having trouble or struggling, they're feeling a little depressed, what is your advice of things that they can do to help them feel better?
So so let me get this right. So these are students that we're not hearing from?
Yeah, we're not hearing a lot from them, and or they're doing their work, but they're feeling a little isolated or a little lonely, and they're just not sure. They're starting to maybe slack off a little bit or get discouraged about it. What do you think? What's your advice to them?
I think that it's difficult for middle school students, for them to realize in their moments of frustration that it's the same for everyone. And there's never been a time like this where everyone is in the same. So I have moments every single day, probably multiple times a day, where I feel isolated from my friends, from my routine, what I normally want to do. I feel disconnected from school, from society,
Yeah.
and you feel there are people that are starting to gather maybe where they shouldn't,
Right.
and I've had to say no,
Yeah.
and because I want to do the right thing,
Right.
and I feel bad about that.
Yeah.
So I think this is so unique that a student and an adult are sharing the same feelings. It doesn't matter whether you're a grandparent, you're a parent, you're a teenager, you're a college student, you're a young adult, or you're still a student K through 12. It's the same across the board. We're all feeling the same
we're all
thing.
in the same boat. We're all feeling it. We just have to keep supporting each other in any way that we can. And
well, in some ways, it's made like my relationships with some of my colleagues, like Mr. Roy, the tech teacher, or Mr. Winslow, a high school teacher, because like we call each other now, and we're like, I'm like more honest with them than I've ever been, because I'm like, how you been? And then they'll say like, actually, I'm being lonely. I'm in like depressed. And I'm like, me too. And it's just weird to like, we never used to talk about those things, but now we do.
Yeah.
And I have found that I've been able to have like FaceTime 1 hour conversations with my brother in Ohio and my sister in Huntington. And we never had time for this before.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to them like 2 hours a week, which I probably would talk to them 2 hours a month.
Right.
You know, in a normal time, there'd be 5-minute conversations, 10-minute conversations.
Right, because everyone's so busy, and now you have
everyone's so busy.
That's a great point too, to just keep with the like look at the glass half full situation. These other opportunities that we have, that you have more time to maybe have a catch with someone in your family in the backyard because you don't have practice and you don't have this and you don't have that. You can do those things.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I think like a really fun thing is even within the kids' circle of friends to throw out like physical activity. Like take a quick video you doing yard work and then send it to your 2 friends and be like, match me.
Yeah.
Like that can be funny.
Pay it forward,
We'll
that
have like yard work for instead of like cupcakes. Like, look at my yard.
That's funny.
That is a great idea.
Yeah,
great idea.
That would be fun. Well, thank you so much for making the time to meet with us today. This was super fun.
It's my pleasure, Mrs. Folger. Anytime. I would love to do it again.
Not me. This is the first interview I'm sweating doing.
We're both sweating.
It's been over 15
and I
minutes
love the screen. You totally had me fooled on the backdrop.
This is our house. She's fibbing.
Yeah.
This is the left. No. This is the east wing of the Folger Mansion.
Well, we'll see you soon. Stay well. Keep studying. Enjoy your music in your alone time. Tell your family.
Thank you.
Well.
Yes. Thank you.
Good to see you, Mr. Slifstein. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Woo! Oh, I'm getting red in the face.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. Thank you, Mr. Slifstein, for taking part in that. Some really good advice, I thought.
Yeah, great advice. So, have a great weekend, everybody.
We have to do birthdays.
Oh, yes.
We have to do birthdays.
So we'll do birthdays and fade out after that. So we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Stay healthy.
Birthdays. I'm excited.